Michigan State played outstanding, and the markers of the game that we really had to make sure we didn't let happen, they happened. They made too many threes, and their field goal percentage was outstanding because we gave up too many fast break baskets, and we didn't do. The disappointing part for us is, obviously we did a very good job in the first half, or a very solid job in the first half, but we did not continue that by playing the personnel as well as we needed to, and they just were too comfortable. And when they're comfortable, I mean, they're pretty good when they're not comfortable. But if you let them be comfortable with how they're playing and getting great looks and not taking things away from them, then that makes them even that much better. And the 12 and 19 in transition, I think for the points, that was crucial. You just can't do that. You can't give up a team. And their break was so good. And they always have an outstanding break. And today it was as good as it's been that I've seen. But we participated in that a little bit. We didn't get back and find shooters as quick as we needed to. But we let their best players be comfortable. And Forbes, when we played the screens the right way, we were good. When we didn't, he made us pay. That's what really good players do. And Denzel and Matt were outstanding. And they didn't need a lot of other guys today. We just let those guys. We let those guys get to their strengths. And when you're playing a great team and with great players, you just can't let them get to that. So that's really what it was more than anything else. We did not defend nearly as good as we needed to. We gave up too many easy baskets, and we gave up too many strength baskets, meaning that they got to their strengths. And the game was physical. And we didn't get as much finishing done on the offensive end against the physicality, and in turn we weren't. But we've got to be better. We can be better. We were better a few nights ago. We were much better. We've been better on the road, and now we turn around and get ready to play Nebraska. Go ahead.
Tom, Valentine's poise. How much does that help them? How much was that him, and how much was it what you guys weren't doing?
Oh, he's a great player. There's no question about it. We didn't know the assist rate that he has, the way he throws the ball ahead. But you just can't let him come off and get to that right hand like we did. And he got to play to his strengths. And at times we did a good job, and for the most part, we did not put enough pressure on him. We didn't make him uncomfortable enough. So he's a guy that he can do a lot of different things because of his vision and because of his ability to play through traps. But you gotta wear him down. Purdue showed that the other night. I mean, you've got to get into him and put a lot of heat on him, and we just didn't do a good enough job of that. So we've got to learn better for the next matchup. With the next team we see.
It seems like Yogi's kind of struggled from the floor with the shot really since Penn State. Is it a fatigue thing? Is it maybe pressing too much after?
Oh, I think he pressed a little bit tonight. Yeah, I think he pressed a little bit in the Iowa game. No question about it. But it's just a matter of trying to make too many things happen, rather than continuing to move it. And we were having trouble scoring, right? But he got a long break when we had the fouls in the first half. So he's used to playing a lot of minutes. I don't think it's that. I think we had some other guys that weren't making plays. What you have to have. This is what we had Thursday night. Guys come in and they impact the game. Whether they're a starter or whether they're coming off the bench, they impact the game. It's not always with scoring. Today we didn't get enough impact from other players. Some starters, some substitutes. They didn't impact the game enough. So when that's happening, it's going to put more pressure on the people that have the ball the most. So I'm not worried about his shooting, and I'm not worried about his minutes. We prepared hard. We didn't physically go hard, to get ready for this game. We just didn't have the time frame, right? I mean, you end and you're not out of the building till 12:30, 1 o'clock Friday morning, and it would have been crazy to have long drawn-out practices coming in to deal with this. But so I'm not worried about that. It's just a matter of us continuing to stay on pace and improve.
I guess just to follow up on that, and maybe you addressed it a little bit there, but we've talked about how Yogi's helped other guys through the season, that he sort of brought other guys with him, led well. I think guys have even talked about how he's helped them break out of slumps. Is it maybe a little bit on teammates to help him get through?
No, I don't think it's that at all. He had 7 assists. We don't really talk about slumps. I mean, it's not a real issue. He's not in one. It's a matter of taking what the defense is giving you when you've got the ball in your hands a lot. Sure, he'd like to be at the foul line more, You know, he's trying to get to the rim more at times. And, I mean, what did we make? 11 threes, but, we needed a few more from some other guys. So, no, we're not going down the slump road. We're going down that we just need to get better in all areas, and it really starts with our transition defense.
Tom, with Troy's struggles today and the way OG is kind of coming on, how do you approach managing both those guys again over the next few games here down the stretch?
We just get ready for the next game, Jeff, and we'll go through practices and just get ready for the game and see what the matchups give us and see who's playing and go from there.
Several players spent time on Denzel Valentine today. I mean, what was the mindset behind maybe sometimes putting Yogi on him, Robert Johnson on him, OG on him?
He's a great player. We just wanted to try to slow him down, and we didn't do a great job of that. You've got to play him for his driving, his scoring, his shooting, and certainly his passing. And you've got to put more pressure on him and make him more uncomfortable, and we didn't do that as much as we needed to, obviously.
Tom, can you describe how we've seen Matt Costello improve over the course of his career to become the player?
Yeah, he's playing his way right into the NBA. We helped him today. There's no doubt about that. I mean, there's no question about it. He's had an outstanding year. I think he leads the league in rebounding, right? Isn't he? Isn't he the league leader? Yeah. Averaging a double-double. Made his second three. You know, you got to guard him. I mean, but he got to play as a young guy, and he's earned his way, and he's a product of the system. He's as physical of a defender and screener as there is in the league, and he's improved his speed and quickness. We let him get to his strengths, and a big part of their game is getting it's been that way forever. You know, get the ball, catch it, chin it, look middle, and go into your move. And we let him get too comfortable on the block with plays. But it's not a situation where you're going to send a lot of double teams. Not when you've got 4 guys in the last 5 games that are shooting over 50% from 3. So they're doing an outstanding job of spacing. And because he can score, because he can pass, and because he can get people open, that makes him incredibly valuable.
Tom, is there any common theme to the transition defense issue? Is it more on the guards? Just
Today, it's a good question. The biggest problem, we had 2 people in the paint. Okay, you got to get one person in the paint and get the rim covered because they run so well. But then you got to get out because and a couple times we didn't get the wings. It's not as much about stopping the ball in this game as it is getting the wings covered because they run to the wing and the corner so well. And they throw it ahead really well. I mean, we've got to do a better job of that. And Iowa did a great job of throwing the ball ahead. But the bottom line for us is it's too many times 2 were in the paint. And when you've got that, you're leaving somebody open. And then we just didn't get communicated a couple of times on guys. A couple of them, there's no excuse for it. And it's not gonna be good on film. Other times, we just weren't rotated quick enough. And if he could get them to run that break that way every game, I'm sure he'd be a lot happier. And because they were at their best. They were committed to it, and we let them get some confidence from it.
Tom, what you got from Max today? Obviously, you decided to start him, and the fact he was able to get a double.
That was a matchup situation. That was nothing Colin did wrong. That was all matchup. We didn't want Thomas to start on Costello because I know Tom's mindset, right? And I've seen it with Zeller and I've seen it with Vonleh, and they would have just tried to attack him, right? I mean, and the bottom line is, they were going to guard him, but we wanted to let Thomas get stabilized in the game, and so that's what that was all about. And Max answered it. He did a good job. He did a very good job. So, said all along, in my mind, we have numerous starters on our team, and I think judging by the minutes, it plays out that way. So, there's always a starting lineup, but it's much more important that guys can go in and impact the game. Today, we had some guys impact it well, and we also had some guys that didn't, and that's what we've got to continue to regroup and get better from.
Can you see what happened today with Troy Williams, where the game went?
Yeah, you know what? Bottom line, this is a great thing with him. He's got to understand how to impact the game more when they're taking things away. And the one thing that Troy is really good at is obviously moving without the ball, getting in those corners. And I'll give Tom and the staff and the way they defended a lot of credit because they didn't lose sight of him. We really wanted Troy to be able to play because we'd seen this on film. So this is a good adjustment that they made because there were a lot of times that guys would lose their man. They'd ball watch a little bit. So obviously he's corrected that. over the last couple of days, because I think that was some of the issue on Tuesday night. And they never let Troy out of sight, and Troy didn't do a great job of impacting the game with the boards. He didn't do enough defensively, and it's not about the jump shot, it's about continue to impact the game. They weren't bad shots at all, but I mean, you gotta get loose balls, 50-50s, more rebounds, tip dunk, when you're athletic like that. And we didn't get enough of that. So this has gotta be a learning experience, and we covered that in the locker room. It's gotta be a learning experience for a guy like that, because everybody, it's not like he's not on the front page of the scouting report with the other games, but usually the game is moving so well for us that he gets lost in the game. And that's where a lot of his cuts come. They come sometimes out of sets, but more they come out of, organized movement, where it looks random. And he's gotta continue to understand how he's gonna cut in front of somebody, how he's gonna jump up, draw a charge, something to impact the game. And unfortunately for us, he didn't do enough of those things today. And it's not on him, but he did not, we all lost the game, but he's gotta be better. He's gotta be better. Anybody else?
Okay, fine.
Thank you.